Right, here we go.
You guys hear me now?
Yep, we're good. We're recording. Hi, everybody. This is Z coming to you from NoVa Notes Meetup and in conjunction with the Wana Holdings. And I have my guests here today. I'm so excited because these are my mentors, Jasmine Willois and Natosha Navarro from Naked Notes and the Note Assistance Program, and the whole reason that I'm even doing this. So I have my screen shared. So I changed a little bit of things now. Since I always have problems sharing my screen, I decided to share it first. So here we go. And just already introduced myself. We're going to go through our little disclaimer here. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a tax professional. I'm not a financial advisor. So please seek out those professionals. I'm not selling anything, but some of my guests may be selling programs or what have you, but so you contact them if you're interested in any of that. A little bit about myself. Again, my name is Ananzi Awana. People affectionately call me Z. I have a bachelor's in education, a master's in education, and a master's in public administration. I'm retired Navy. I am currently still working as a civilian for the Department of Defense as a contracting officer. Been real estate investing for a little bit over 30 years, but not in the note space. And so I started my business in 2018, and with the focus on mortgage note investing. And the two ladies on board here today are the whole reason I even got into it. I'm just crazy excited. So I'm going to hurry up and kind of rush through this. And if you guys want to see it, I pretty much go over it in all of my intros. But essentially, if you are a person who has a mortgage on your home, you sign something called a promissory note, and your home serves as the collateral for that note, or that lien, if you will. We in the note space call it a mortgage note. We are your lien lords, not your landlords, and we own the loan. We own your loan on your mortgage, and we own that paper. We don't own your property unless or until we foreclose on it, and then we become property owners, which we don't really want to do that, because most of us want to help you stay in your home and receive those monthly payments, and we don't want to take your home back. So that's kind of the basic nuts and bolts of a mortgage note. Now, without further ado, let me introduce Jasmine Willois and Natosha Navarro from Naked Notes. Woo-hoo!
Yeah. Now
I'm not going to leave this up right now because I want to see everybody's face, and I can't really do that when this is being shared, but I'll share it again in the end, or even I don't really have to because it's being recorded, so just come back and watch it again.
That's what I'm talking about.
How about that? That's even better, right? Yep. And then here's my little bit of contact information, and so let's get into it real quick here then.
Easy.
I'm gonna stop sharing. Hey, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, ladies. Thank y'all so much for joining me. And so let's start. Tell the audience about yourself. What's going on? Y'all know the pink cat. I know y'all know the pink cat. Come on.
Well, before we jump into us, I just got to talk about how phenomenal you're doing, and you are a tribute to what we do. So, I mean, it's no just us, it's a we. We're Nap Nation, right? So.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But without you and without Natosha, it would be no me, right?
Yeah. We're definitely excited to help lead you in this journey. But yeah, I mean, everything about you is why we're here. I mean, we love the fact that you, and by the way, thank you for your service. We'll start there, of course, right? That's what you and Natosha have in common. And so I tend to surround myself by great people like yourselves.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So don't make it about me, because this is about you guys. I want to hear you guys here.
I was going to say, Natosha.
Hype y'all up. I don't want y'all to hype me up.
I got to hype you up because you know how it goes. But listen, just as another tribute real quick before we get into what we do and everything, it's all about the people, right? So that's why I stopped to talk about you. And then if you don't mind, we'll talk about Natosha as well, because she was in your shoes about 4 or 5 years ago, right? So it's about the students here, the Note Assistance Program. Without getting into it too much, because I want to do that next, I just want you to know that we want to help you learn how to invest in mortgages and become the bank, right? And so, yeah, Natosha, introduce yourself as well.
Right. So that is one of the things that I love the most about Z, of course, is that we come from similar backgrounds. We're at the military background, but then we're also contracting. We're both contracting officers, and you don't even realize like how well that translates over to Notes, because Notes is a paper heavy type of business. It's the type of business that if you don't pay attention to details and you're not willing to take the time to read through something, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble. So Z, although, you know, we're proud of all of our Nap Nation, there's always a few people that rise above and take what we give them and turn it into something that we didn't even envision. And that's what Z has done, because, you know, she took her skill set of being able to analyze a contract, analyze a deal, really make sure that, you know, she's protecting herself in all areas. And then she has transformed that into all these other things. So, you know, I'm really proud of you.
Let me ask you two ladies this. What
Just a little tadpole in the waters of note investing, but
let me start a genuine conversation with you guys. I think that's what the audience wants to hear. What attracts two ladies like you to this industry, right? Because we have similar backgrounds, right? And you both were successful when you chose this, and I think it's the end all of end alls for you guys looking for something else. So tell me about that. Mm-hmm. I'm interviewing now. I want to know about you guys.
No, I was like, apparently you already knew this was going to turn into Jasmine's show, right?
Around on me.
You already knew.
Let's talk about it. What attracted you guys to Notes? Because that's what I want to shine on. I'll definitely tell you a little bit more about myself. But why did you guys get into this?
I can tell you, you know that, but I met you guys at the expo a couple of years ago now in Baltimore. And you know, as you know, I started my business out as a fix and flip. Okay. The actual name of my company is Awana Renovation and Holdings. And when I saw you guys at the expo, I was like, Notes, what is this? You know, let me go in here. And of course, you know, Jasmine with all of her pink hat and you know, all of her charisma and everything, as she got to explaining even just in the basic terms of what a note was and how you could make money from doing it. I'm like, oh, I need to get out here. So I flew out to California, took the Note Lab course and everything. And it was good. It was on from there. But what, even at the point of being at the expo, I was intrigued about what notes were. But after I took the actual training, is what really made me say, do this. I'm doing this every day, except I'm not doing it with real estate. I was doing it with, you know, government contracts. But that was the thing after going through the training. That was the thing for me. That was the catalyst for me to just say, I'm doing this.
Here's why I want to start with you guys and also obviously parlay into what I'm doing and why I'm doing this. And then of course me, right? Because I see myself in all of you guys, right? And this is really about the 5K and 5Y, right? And so I really want to talk to Natosha about that as well and get that message out to everyone, because this is why we're here, is to educate people on how to get generational wealth. And so I think what you are explaining to people is that you may have found something to help you to achieve that. And then Natosha Navarro, you're doing the same thing, right? Because this is why I'm here too, right? So you can get to my story all you want. Obviously, I do this every day, but is it working for other people, right? So Natosha, yourself, have you found a spot do you feel that we're achieving our 5K and 5Y, and are you part of that, for crying out loud?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our 5K and 5Y is growing even during a pandemic. It's probably grown more this year than it has any other year. And why I identified with Notes is just felt very, as Z was saying, it felt familiar. It felt, even though it was something I'd never done, it was something I'd never heard of. One, I had been in real estate for a while. I'd been just like my side hustle. Being able to parlay that into contracts, like it just felt really comfortable. And I loved the diversification it created for me. I loved that it kept me on my toes and interesting. And there were so many different things I could do with it. So I knew I wasn't going to get bored. That's just the way, you know, my personality is. So with all of those things, I think that there are a lot of people that are attracted to it for those reasons. And it's made it easy for us to create that goal of the 5K and 5Y, and really helping not only our community, but generations to come, ideally. And, you know, we're excited about that.
Right, and we practice this as we preach. So yeah, let's get to why I started the program, who I am, and all that good stuff. In case y'all know, I'm Jasmine Willois. I am the founder of the Note Assistance Program, right? And first thing I want to tell you, it's called the Note Assistance Program for that reason. I wanted to start a program for what I like to call, you know, just full-fledged entrepreneurs, AKA adults, right? Who really are out there and have that spirit in them. And all they needed was some assistance to get forward, right? I thought I was out there for a long time. As you guys who know me, okay, I've been in this industry for 25 plus years, not to age myself. And then my family as well, right? From coast to coast, New York to California. Real estate investors for generations. I've seen what it's done. I'm from the Bronx, humbly. And, you know, I live in San Diego, California. And so I was like, what is it that's getting these people here, right? And one of the biggest awakenings was when I went to Wall Street, okay? And so I was a day trader for a long time during the dot-com era. That's when things were going just bananas, right? You named it, Z.com. I could have sold it. We could have fundraised it for it. And I probably did already, right? And so what I saw was that Wall Street had... domain, right? I know, write it down. But what I saw was that Wall Street had a huge, huge, huge advantage. And then what's more to that advantage is that they were really stingy with it. They weren't sharing nothing, okay? And so some of us out there, we've been out there, we're top of our careers, okay? We know what we're doing, whether it's military, whether you're in, some of them are in banking, whether you're biotech, you'd be surprised with our work with rocket scientists, okay? Some of us are at the top of our career, but we really are looking for what? Our time back. We want to reclaim our time, as a lot of people say. And so that's what this is about to me, because that 5K and 5Y is not just finances, not just money, but it's giving you time, okay? I founded this company about 7 years ago, and it was because I had a little child. He was 3 years old. I looked him in the face and I was like, you know what? The only person I really want to be running around and held accountable to is this young man right here. And it changed my life, as it does for everyone. I believe Natosha Navarro knows what we're talking about. Z, do you have children? I'm not sure. I know you well.
He's grown, but
did he change your life?
I'm trying to change his life.
No, but did he change your life when he came?
Still got time, right?
But did he change your life when he dropped in on it?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's really what it was, right? If you want to rewind to where, when, why, and how, okay? It's definitely 2013. I was just looking at my son. He was going to be 3 years old, and I didn't know what it meant to. I didn't want to know what it meant to have a 9-to-5 job and have him call me and say, hey, I don't know if we've cleared for you to have to go and do the doctor's appointment, or, you know, he does a, online schooling. I don't know if you can be there for him during this time and all this stuff. And so starting at that moment is when I decided to create an assistance program, okay? And so that's what I wanted to mention, because people like you and Natosha, you stick to this like glue. You know how to take advantage of it because it's the assistance that you need. All we need to do is add you guys and shake.
That's one of the things I would say as well, is that what I loved about it, and I think that she has done so well with it, is that you give direction, like you said, assistance. You tell them somebody to go do something, and then they just go do it. And they just like, okay, you don't have to tell them 100 times. They're not waiting.
Is that it, right?
They're not waiting for you to do something.
It's harder than you think. It's harder than you think.
Yeah, but it's surprising. But I think that's also like a character trait of what we did or do as a living as well. Is like, you have to take initiative. You just have to be able to control a situation or negotiate or do this and take action. And so for me, I just needed someone to tell me. It's like in the military.
I was about to say the same thing.
Oh, and then I just go. You start marching.
Like in the military, I can follow directions. Tell me what you want me to do.
Girl, and that is the key. And so what's funny about that is I've never been in the military, but I was always threatened to be in the military when I was young. And so I know how to follow direction. As much as I play around, I'll follow direction like I want to. And so, but that is, like you said, a characteristic that if you have that and you're out there listening and you're like, how do I change things? This is an opportunity, right? This is an opportunity for you to get involved with the assets that will normally reserve for the banks. And that's what I love about teaching you guys is this is I like to liken this to, you guys came here and you learned another tech skill, another skill set that no one can take from you. Do you understand that? And so that's what I love. And if you do it right, continuously, if you do what you're doing, wash, rinse, repeat, which I can't wait. I don't know if you're going to talk about what you're doing, but if you do what you're doing, you'll rinse, repeat for, the next couple of years. I don't know how you're answering to anyone other, period.
That's the goal.
So
answering to myself.
All right. So how's that looking? I mean, have we performed so far? We're delivering. Are we talking about what you were doing today?
We weren't, but we can. Because again, it's not about me, Miss Willois. It's about you.
All right. Well, what's so funny is I find it hard to have success without you guys. What I do love is that you came here to get your first note. Mm-hmm. And you got that. So every month, what we do is we release monthly income. And is that true? Do you get that monthly income?
I do. And believe it or not, the well, I bought 2 notes the first time, and one was non-perform. Actually, both were non-performing. One was essentially an REO, and we're in the process of selling that off right now for a nice profit once it closes. And I have a non-performer that turned performing. These folks actually caught up on their payments. That was the one that I got for a very, very, very low amount.
A non-performing price.
Practically free. Practically free.
See, but these things can happen, right? And that's what I deliver. So I think I misspoke and said we deliver monthly income, which is what these turned out to be. But I meant to say monthly tapes and inventory.
Yeah. I know. I was like, well, technically, I guess
you can give me monthly income if you want to.
Check your email. Check your email. It's there right now. No.
But that's a good segue actually for a question that I wanted to bring up. So a lot of other people in the note space, a lot of other investors, maybe some people who train themselves, will tell people looking to get into the note space about not buying notes from the same people that actually train them. What's your take on that? They see it as some sort of conflict of interest that the trainers or coaches are actually selling the products that they're selling the products to the people that they're teaching.
I gotta tell you that we hear, and obviously let's let Natosha key in on this too, but we hear that's one of our biggest things, right? That's one of the reasons I started this program, okay? And so what you will find is that I do believe it's a conflict of interest as well. So a lot of people out there that raised me that did the same thing. So what's different about what we do is that we release a tape on a monthly basis, but none of it's our inventory, right? We don't take it down, we don't own it, so you're not buying from us. We're 100% brokers, so we're not ashamed to admit it. But at the end of the day, I'm taking my relationships, right? And I'm passing them on to my trusted community. So my trusted sources, sellers and vendors, we have over 15 of them. I'm giving them to you guys because you guys in turn have trained with me and shown that you know the right way to do things. And that whole training with me portion, it really came about because just struggling. I got to be honest with you. Natosha was here when I started the program. I wanted to induct people who came in with other backgrounds and other training, but so many things were left out. So almost 90%, 100% of the people that came from other programs we had problems with, they weren't expecting things. And so the whole hazing, I like to call it, that I put you guys through has not only created this camaraderie within the community and the NAP Nation that's, I hope you guys speak to it, but it's just really, in my opinion, just irreplaceable. And that's what really, how you make your money. But has not only has it created this camaraderie, but it has allowed us to have a trusted source of buyers to buy from. So again, I agree. Okay, and so I definitely don't. We separate the church from the state here on many different levels, and that's one of them. And so when you do buy with us, you have to pass the training portion only to get access to the inventory. And again, you're rarely buying from us unless Natosha or I have a personal deal you want to buy from.
Okay.
Yeah, and my answer, my response would be when I first started with notes, obviously I didn't know what I didn't know. Jasmine was the first person I saw speaking, kind of like you, right? Mm-hmm. And I was really drawn, and I went to the boot camp and I learned, but as I got further into the industry, I realized that there were so many people out there that offered training, but then they're like, okay, go have fun trying to figure out
go find your own notes.
Right? But then on the other spectrum, there were people that were like, yeah, come to our training and we own all these notes, but you can only buy these notes that we own personally. And I don't know, I just felt weird about that. I was like, yeah, but that means that I don't know if you're telling me something out of it's my best interest if you have
on it
to get it sold because it's on your, you need to get it off
books. Yeah.
So what I loved about what Jasmine had created, it was the best of both worlds. You got the training, but then the inventory, it's like, we could care less if you buy one in Texas or you buy one in Georgia or you buy one here or you buy from this seller. You
buy one at all for that matter.
Yeah, there's no benefit to us one way or the other. If you buy from one seller or another, we're not going to push you into a note just to get something sold because we don't have anything on our books. So we're not stressed out to try to get it off. It's the end of the year. It's the end of the month. We have to do this. So I would say but I do agree with you. There can be a conflict of interest.
What I love about it real quickly is that that training that you get, like you said, whether you buy from us or not, that's the other thing that's unique about our program. That training is something you can take and go negotiate to the real world with another bank if you get a tape on your own. A lot of this other training I ran into and am a product of, the reason I wanted to make this different was that they had training that applied to their inventory and their practices. You went out to a bank and started negotiating the way they taught you using those skill sets. They knew right away who trained you, and you had had a mark on your back, because right away that is not applicable in the real world. It only works at the guru's room and in guru's world. So that was what we did differently.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you cleared that up, because I can't tell you how many times I see that statement from people, in the social networks and things like that about, not, watch who's training you and
It's because people have been burnt. People been burnt. I've been been around this for about 20 years, and I've seen personally, and I know a lot of them, right? And a lot of them are not out there running around, but we're still friends, and they're shy to come back out there. So trust me, if this is, that's why we thought the community was really important, to make sure that you can stick around. What you have, even when you leave this program, graduate the program, whenever you decide, you still have, as far as I can see, you have so many friends that you're going to leave here that are going to be working with you and buying notes, and you've only been with us for about 1.5 years, if I remember.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I love it. So what are some? I know you got the 5K and 5Y, and so that's a long-term goal of the company. What's I guess a shorter-term goal of the company? I know you guys have a lot of stuff going on. Talk to me about some of the things that you have going on.
Tosh, you want to talk to them about the Blanket America?
Yeah, sure. So I don't know, for those of you who might be privy to our Naked Notes podcast, we stream every Friday this thing called Ask the Pink Hat. And just this past Friday, we had somebody on there. His name is Bob Dalton. He started a company called Sackcloth and Ashes, and it was out of a need for, I think his story is that his mother ended up homeless, and he found out what was the biggest need in the homeless shelters, and he knew it was blankets. And so a few years ago, after he became pretty successful with his businesses, he started a campaign called Blanket, I think it's called Blanket America. And he wants to do 1 million blankets by 2024. And so we just recently decided to partner up with him. And so we are now part of that initiative, and we are going to be personally giving away at least 500 blankets next year, with every note that's purchased, a blanket to you, and then you get to donate your blanket, or we'll be donating the blankets from you over to one of the homeless shelters here in California.
Wow.
So that's, when you talk about short and long-term goals, I mean, that's one of the other things that really separate us. And what I found coming from Wall Street is that we make a lot of money, and a lot of people end up just not spreading it along the way and giving back. So it's something that we've always been excited to do. This is our, one of the years where we're meeting the right people in the right places and the right campaigns, right? And so Bob Dalton, if you don't know of him, check him out. He's a TEDx speaker, another one of, again, some of the things we look to do. I mean, could you imagine the pink hat on a TEDx show? Dang.
I could, actually.
Thanks for listening to my TED Talks. I've been practicing that all night.
I can see it.
But no, we're excited because short term, that starts January, right? And so here's the thing. Our community, one thing that we all have in common, and I know this because I interview you all when you join, okay? You spend 2 hours with me on the phone. And one thing that you all say consistently is that when things start going well for you, you want to start giving back, right? And what I can tell you is things are starting to go well for you when you're on your second and third note. Ask me how I know. And so at no point are we going to delay any further. And so it's like she said, just to be clear, when you join the program and or when you do your first trade, not your first trade, when you do a trade, you are going to also be donating, okay, with your trade desk fee, a blanket to the homeless campaign, Blanket America, okay? We're doing 500 blankets. Then you're also going to get one as well. So not only going to get your blue folder with your collateral in it, but you're also going to get one of these nice recyclable blankets, and they're really awesome. So check them out. They're called mod blankets, so they're like modern and they're cool. So
okay,
anyway,
all right.
you can't tell I'm excited.
Do the blankets have the sackcloth and ash logo or the NAP logo on it, or it's just a blanket?
Sackcloth and Ashes, yeah. The box that they'll come in will actually say, I believe, the Note Assistance Program, but the blanket is made.
Yeah, we're excited. The box is branded to us. The blanket's just a regular blanket, but it's really a high-end blanket. I think they go for about 110 retail, so it's these guys are getting some real nice warm quality blankets, taking no shorts. But either way, it's really about us getting the community in front of the right people, right? And the people that have the means to help us not only just now go from helping our members, 5K and 5Y, but actually have an initiative to help America as a whole. So that's what excites us.
That's beautiful, beautiful. So Jasmine, I know that Natosha did her training with you, but did you have any formal training in notes, or is it something that you just kind of stepped into based on your financial background?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of both, right? Tons of formal training. I don't know if I'd say in notes specifically, which is why we've created a program. But I mean, if you just look at my background, everything led here. You know, I have a degree in economics. I have day trading on Wall Street. So all that stuff helped me understand this stuff on a different level, right? What's interesting about notes is that there's so many people involved. There are attorneys, foreclosure attorneys, investors, private lenders, but everyone, appraisers can look at this industry in a different manner, right? Until you learn how to look at it from as an investor standpoint, then and only then do you understand, wow, there's so much money in this. Okay, so again, there's so many other people out there dealing with this product, and they're just like, just a loan, just underwriting, oh no, there's so much money if you know how to piece it together as an investment. So when you ask me how I started, I mean, I got to tell you, in my opinion, this all started when I was a wee little lady. No, I'm just kidding. And yeah, but just all that stuff led to where I am today with my trading and background. But that's why the program is different, right? I saw what everyone else was doing, and I said, you know, what if we add a little Wall Street fling to this? What if we did a broker thing? What if we did a trade by trade, added trade desk fees? And so really, we're bringing a more transactional basis to individuals. We're allowing people to put into the self-directed IRAs. My degree is in economics, so that always helps. I love people always saying, you know, Jasmine, you can do it because you have a degree in economics. So what I love about speaking to you guys before I get to me, you know, sometimes people say it looks so easy. Of course you can do it, Jasmine. I mean, economics, you have Wall Street, of course, makes sense. You have connections. But what I love speaking about my members first is that a lot of you guys have such diverse backgrounds, and even you can do it, right? It's just about me giving you the assistance and giving you the hat to think of it as an investor versus, you know, as a subject to person. I think that was Natosha's background, right? So I think when she sat down with me, oh my gosh, she brought so much to the community. This was her subject to background, but, and I'll let her speak to this, but I think it was the mindset and the ability to look at the asset from a different angle is what got her to the profitability part. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, Natosha?
Yeah, I mean, well, just kind of, I mean, well, talking about what Jasmine said in particular, my background, I had done a lot of different things in real estate, but what I had originally done back in Arizona 20 years ago were lease options before they were cool. And so when I saw them pop up on the tape as notes, first of all, my mind was blown because I was like, I guess I had never really thought about them as being notes. And second of all, I had never seen them anywhere as being sold from lender to lender. So I was super excited. I think Z, you even got it.
I was gonna say the first one that you got me was a lease option.
Once I started talking to everyone in the community about lease options, they were like, what? Amazing. So who would have known 20 years ago, something I did 20 years ago was going to be applicable and relevant to what I ended up doing for real. But it felt like notes was a culmination of all the things I had done. That's really kind of what it felt like at the end.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So are you guys both investing for yourselves out of retirement accounts? And do you guys use private investors or, you know, other people's money as we learned?
Yeah, I'll speak to that. I don't use my retirement account, but I built my entire business off other people's money and they use retirement accounts. I'm pretty familiar with all those avenues. When I came into it, my kind of funny story or sad story, whatever you want to say to tell, is that I had just before I started with notes, I was really, because I love the whole side hustle thing. I need to constantly be doing something. So I had just signed up for a program about wholesaling, and I had gotten from one free class all the way up to, by the end of it, a $70,000 investment of, you need coaching, you need this, come to Vegas, do all this stuff. And you know, I'm the type of person, you tell me what to do, I'm going to be all in. Like, okay, it's going to work. Let's do it. So I did all of that. And I busted my butt for a year doing everything they told me to do. And in that process, I made about $7,500 of my $70,000 investment back. So when I saw Jasmine, I was a little wounded and I was also a little broke. Money coming into this. So I really wanted to find a way that I could make this work for myself and not have to wait until I had saved up, you know, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 again. Jasmine teaches you, like, you can do this with other people's money. It's not as hard as you think. And I just took what she told me and I went out, and I was very easily able to find other people's money to do this. And before I knew it, in 1 year, I purchased 21 notes with using a dime of my own.
Amazing. It's amazing. So yeah.
Inspirational.
Yeah, and then for me personally, of course, that's one of the whole reasons I do this, right? And so people always ask me what's the why, because the truth of the matter is, you know, the price for the training program is still minuscule, and it's very, very, let's say, low compared to what's out there for training. So my reason and my why is so that I can have a collective of people, right? And buying notes from these sellers. So again, these aren't my notes. So when we go out there and buy as a community, guess who gets to buy as well? Me. I get to go in and pick up a note. Like you said, every now and then we get to find some for almost free, right? And we share in that glory because we're buying together as a collective. What a lot of people don't understand is that this is not an independent business. And so if you want to go in here and say, I'm going to do this on my own, I don't need anybody, we don't need friends, and I'm having my own island, I just got to tell you, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Not that it's impossible, but you will not have, just by the sheer volume, and no matter how much money you have, and people coming every day, I've got $20 million, I have $50 million, unless you're willing to spend that $50 million on one trade, then you're not getting my attention, to be honest with you. Okay? And then after that trade, we want to know that you have another 50 to spend, right? Okay. So the banks are out there doing huge, huge things, $400 million trades at a time. And so I want you to understand that for us to get even a privy of that inventory, okay, it's really a phenomenal thing. And it's something that we hold covered and tightly here. And that's why I'm in this, right? Obviously, I want to make sure that I have my community there, but I benefit from this just as much as you guys. Trust me, this morning, I'm looking at a place in Newark, New Jersey, a duplex. And guess what I did? I used the NAP Nation to help me get comps.
I hope that information helped you. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Do you have a question, Charlie?
No, but it's nice to meet you guys. I am actually, it's funny, I was looking at your podcast.
Oh, yeah.
In the podcast titled, Why Hard Money Lenders Love Note Investing.
One of our favorites.
Is that you?
Yeah. Yeah, so we have a really large portfolio of hard money loans in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area that obviously I'm the originator. It's all a bunch of short-term fix and flip stuff, buy and hold stuff, but it's a year or less. And so my main goal with notes is we have a big short-term portfolio, but we've got to do a better job of creating a longer-term portfolio. And so that's kind of why we're interested on the note side. We like the non-performing note space, just because, not that we want to foreclose, but we have so much experience in the underlying asset, because that's how we got started in the hard money space. So we're kind of ground up kind of guys. And one of the other things I respect with you too is that I think giving back is important. I mean, we're all creating our legacies, but giving back is probably the most important legacy that we can create. And I think you guys are on the right track, and I want to commend you guys for that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very much. We appreciate
Have
that.
you listened to that podcast episode yet?
No, but I'm about ready to. I just noticed that you guys got 4 seasons of podcasts.
Yeah.
And so I've got to start going through those, because like I said,
that one's a good one to start, because our member, he invests in notes, that he's an originator. That's what he does, hard money loans. So he kind of talks about his experience and why he chose to diversify a little into notes. So I think that will be a good one.
Yep. And that's
Speak to
exactly
your soul, my friend. It's going to speak to your soul.
Yeah. Great. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Okay, ladies, thank you all so much. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out to
I love it. That was easy.
Join me. Yeah, it wasn't too painful.
I was all nervous.
Not you. Stop it.
Yeah. And it's funny. I just looked back on my LinkedIn, and you guys, I know you probably have a lot of connections like I do, but you guys are like first connections with me.
Nice.
For whatever reason. We've all crossed paths in the past somehow. So.
Yeah, I was going to ask, But we'll
Yeah.
maybe catch up offline, and we are always welcome, as Z knows, you guys to drop in on any of the stuff that we're doing. So thanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good stuff.
Absolutely. So everybody, the contact information is in the beginning of the recording, noteassistanceprogram.com, and the number you can call or text, and Jasmine or Natosha will get back with you ASAP. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome, Z. Thank you.
Good
Take care,
time.
guys. See you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.